Hello and welcome to the fourth lecture, When Data Becomes Information. So this is the fourth lecture of my course, Data Analysis for Absolute Beginner. And in this, as you can see, I will tell you 4 scenarios where you will see that data is becoming information, and these scenarios are helpful to also understand the various types of analysis that happens in the data analysis domain. And with the help of this course, my objective is that you know enough about data and data analysis techniques that you can confidently speak about data analysis or learn data analysis without much of an issue. If you are watching in YouTube, then you are here, but if you are if you are having questions, you can ask me in the comments. And if you are part of my live training, or if you are part of my if you have enrolled in my training, then you can also discuss all of the questions in a live sessions which I hold on every Sunday, right? So when data becomes information is an important aspect, and like I said, 4 scenarios. Okay, so first thing first, when data collected over a period of time, this is one of the very important analysis technique called the trend analysis. For example, we always hear this word trend, and we see the trend everywhere, whether there is a trend, or let's say fashion, there is a trend. In computers, there is a trend. In jobs, there is a trend, right? So trend is everywhere. And what is the meaning of trend? Trend is something which is happening over a period of time. So when data is collected over a period of time, it becomes the trend information. So for example, average housing prices in Delhi for 1000 square feet in 4 years. This is helpful to make some sort of investment decision. Okay, so now what does it mean? It means in 2018 the price was 55 million or 55 lakhs, and 5.5 million and or 55 lakhs, 6.2 million or 62 lakhs. In 2020, 58 lakhs or 5.8 million. In 2021, 6.5 million or 65 lakhs. So what does it indicate? It indicates that price has not really increased a lot. They are going up and down every year, and there is no benefit in making any sort of investment decision right now. If it would be like 55 lakhs, 62 lakhs, 65 lakhs, 70 lakhs, that means that the trend is going up, right? And that basically becomes an information for you based on which you can take a decision. Right now, with this information, you can say that probably not a good idea to make decision of investment here in the housing prices or in the housing. Let's say you want to purchase a house as an investment, not a good idea right now. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. Data collected over a period of time. Another scenario I can give you is, for example, the effectiveness of a university. For example, the number of students which are getting first class division is one of the good criteria that university education is effective. So let's say in 2018 there were 100, in 2019 maybe 150, 2020 180, in 2021 200. That means the numbers are increasing. That means that is a good for a university. That means they are improving their curriculum, they are improving the ability of their teachers, they are improving their students as well, which is resulting into more and more students are securing first division mark, right? So that way it becomes an information. So the university can promote that how they are improving it, so that more and more students they can fetch in, plus they can also increase their prices, right? Second example, when data collection happen in comparison. So one is the trend analysis, another is the comparison. What do I mean by that? For example, population of India is 1.35 billion compared to the China, which is 1.4 billion, right? Compared to US 331 million, that means very less compared to these two countries. And then 273 million of Indonesia, which is the fourth largest one, which is the basically slightly less than this, but way lesser than this. So clearly, if you take one threshold, how the other country's population is in comparison to India, let's say China is obviously high, but other two countries are less, and that becomes the comparison of the information. Another comparison of information which we always see is in our education system, like the number of marks. For example, I get 70%. I always compare with what in other individual have got like 65% or 75%. That becomes the comparison of the marks just to get how good or bad we are performing compared to others, right? So that is the example of data analysis example when you compare the data. Now let's move on to the next example, when data collected in relation. Now this is a comparison, but in the form of a relation, that data is related to each other. Okay, what do I mean by that is, this is the healthcare data, and in that you have the cholesterol of 220 and the BP is high, right? That is one of the relation, that when your cholesterol is high, there is enough basically relation that with the BP that it will be high. Or if your cholesterol is low, let's say 130, the BP will also be low, or there will not be high BP. So that is the example of relation. What other relation that you can find? For example, when you are studying for more number of hours, are they resulting into a good marks? Is it a good relation? Or any other example that you can figure it out? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let me move on to the next example. When collected in distribution, data is collected in distribution or range. So let's see the example over here. So height of an Indians, that means the height or the length of the Indian, are 70% of Indians has height between 5.2 to 5.8, right? So this is just an example, not the, I don't know if it is really true or not, but I just made one statement that height of the Indians are between 5.2 and 5.8, which is a range. If you see that 70% of Indians have the height between 5.2 to 5.8 is basically a range. And why this range is helpful? So that if you are a company who basically manufacture clothes or who basically offer clothes, then you know that for 70% of your clothes, for the Indians needs to be somewhere between this height and in proportion to the shoulder or waist and those type of things, right? So that becomes an important statistic. But over here, the key term is distribution or range, which is 5.2 to 5.8. What other distribution or range that you can think of for this? Well, this is also very interesting and very important topic. Well, each one of this is very important, but this gives slightly better information, a key information with which you can take some good or better decision, which we will see in coming slides or in the next lecture, in the upcoming lectures, as to where we can utilize this. So these are the 4 scenarios. Is there any other scenario that you can think of if you want to do a research? Plus, in each of this scenario, can you find me one more example and enter in the comments? Or if you are in my enrolled course, then let's discuss this in the live Q&A session. With that, thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the next topic.